Okay.
You want to drive him into the bit.
Give him the shoulder tap cue. Let's talk about her. So I'm here with Emerson and her horse 𝗬𝗁𝗍. I'm helping the girls with their horses today. I'm gonna let her explain her horse a little bit, what she's been doing with it, how much training she's had, and then we'll get started. So go ahead, like for the people watching, explain how many rides she's had, what problems you're facing with her, just basically what you were telling me.
Okay, so I started her in June, like mid-June. I don't know how many rides she's had. I've rode her pretty consistently. So I'd say like definitely over 35 rides.
Okay.
35, 40 rides probably. I did a lot of groundwork with her. Probably not as good as I could have. She's very much all about herself. She likes to live in her own world. We're just here, so that's kind of what
her world
we're
and
trying
you
to
live
fix.
in it.
Yeah, it's 𝗬𝗁𝗍's world.
Okay, so then tell what happened, not yesterday, but the day before. Because I actually worked with her yesterday and then I regretted not filming it, so we're gonna film today and kind of basically review what we did, but the day before, what had happened.
So 2 days ago, we were trying to lope to the right, and she doesn't like to bend and be supple and soft. And so that's what we were trying to do. So I was trying to speed her up in her small circles when she was dropping her shoulder diving in. And she just decided to run really fast in a small circle, and we ended up tumbling, doing a somersault, like butt overhead. She tumbled over me. And then she laid there, and as soon as she got up, she was fine. I got back on, we kept riding.
Did she roll like, oh, this feels good?
Yeah, she like laid down, she like thought about it, and then she rolled on her side and started rubbing her face in the dirt. I was like, okay, you're fine, if you can do that.
All right, so no injuries.
No injuries.
All right, so I didn't see that happen, but I noticed that the horse was covered in dirt on this side of her body pretty good. So she was tied up to the fence over here, and I was like, Emerson, what happened? And so she tells me the story, and she was very frustrated. I was like, okay. I didn't want to get involved because this is her horse and her project, and I wanted Emerson to have a chance to learn some stuff and really be totally responsible for this project. I didn't want to like interfere and mess up what she was doing, because she's learning. So if I take the steering wheel too soon, it doesn't help Emerson at all. So Emerson at that point, I was like, okay, she's probably gonna want some help now. So I offered, and she's like cussing this horse up one side and down the other. She's like, yes, take her, take my problem child, figure it out, I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, I just didn't want to step in too soon. But so anyway, so the first thing I did was we put the training halter and lead rope on her. I'm glad I did. I expected we were gonna need to do some groundwork. And as we were leading down past these other horses to get out to the arena, she's just leaning over here trying to get some of their hay, not paying attention to me, walking ahead. So in other words, I noticed right off the bat that her ground manners were just terrible. She wasn't trying to partner up with me or focus on me at all. It was all about what she wanted to do. So even leading her, I could pick up on that right away. So I'm going to show you guys what I did yesterday. We'll switch. And I'm just going to have a little conversation with her. So I had her out here on this rope yesterday, and was kind of having to spank her a little bit to get her attention. And she responded by bucking. Now I'm on the ground with this rope, and that's the equivalent of your toddler throwing themselves down in the grocery store aisle, kicking and screaming, just throwing a fit is what she was doing, because she wasn't getting her way. I really wasn't putting that much pressure on her. Let me check the cinch too, make sure this is, okay, that's good. And then she got a little upset because she just was like, crap, I'm used to getting my way. What is this? But we ended on a good note, but we did enough groundwork that she was pretty sweaty and tired. So, see, I shut her down right there because she wanted to trot towards the gate because she knows where the exit is. Being a little reactive to the flag. You've like sacked her out with a flag and like petted her and all that with it?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought
and
so.
She's had like tarps and everything.
Tarps and all that, yeah. Activity ball. You have done a lot of groundwork with her.
Yeah.
I think the mistake that you were making was just, you didn't want to be hard on her because you were afraid of messing her up. But I think 𝗬𝗁𝗍 is just really smart, and she just figured out that she could get away with stuff. Yeah. So some horses are real sensitive. She's not. Like she's one you kind of have to smack them around a little bit to get their respect. Our horses are real timid. Like you remember Annie? She's the exact opposite of Annie.
Yeah, she doesn't get her
She
feelings
does not
hurt.
get her feelings hurt easy. That's right. And I can already tell today she's a little bit better than she was yesterday. She's still kind of wanting to do her own thing. She's pulling on this rope a little bit more than I want her to because she's looking for an exit. And that's what 𝗬𝗁𝐺 does, is she's looking for an exit. She's not looking for the release of pressure so much as how can I get out of doing this altogether. And so that's really just an attitude thing. And I kind of got onto you a little bit yesterday because you didn't have her hindquarters. Like you really didn't have a whole lot of control of her feet on the ground. Now most of the work you've been doing in your defense has been in the round pen, right? You haven't worked her at the end of a rope much, right?
Not as much as, yeah.
Yeah. So when I would try to disengage her hindquarters, instead of her turning her hindquarters away from me, she'd want to speed up and really was trying to pull this rope out of my hands. I can already tell she's better with that today than she was yesterday. But see, like right there, she wasn't waiting for me. She just kind of wants to do her own thing. And we also talked about, so in a nutshell, horse training, the definition of having a broke horse is getting a horse to do what they want to do when you ask them to do it. And the way we go about training these horses is we teach them what to respond to and what to ignore. So in other words, when I point my hand like that and cluck, that means something. That means I'm sending you off that direction. But if I do this, that doesn't mean anything, right? I just don't want her to be super reactive to this flag. So now that she is standing there more quiet, I'll take that flag away from her and let her know that that was the right choice, okay? Okay. You know, I'm a little nervous to make video with Pistol. I just worked her. That horse does nothing but fart the entire time I'm riding her. Like, there's no way my mic's not going to pick that up. I'm serious. I'm kind of wondering if she needs like probiotics or something, but like the mic's going to pick that up if I make a video of me like trotting and loping her around.
Right.
It's terrible. So at least you don't have that problem with 𝗬𝗁𝐺.
Like our blooper yesterday.
Yes. It's hard for me to point with my rope hand to send her off because she's kind of heavy at the end of this rope, so I can't let it slip out of my hand. She's much better today though. She's being a little more attentive, a little more respectful than she was yesterday. Okay, now I'm going to come through here, disengage that hindquarter. Better. She's not, see right there, she wasn't trying to run through the rope like she did yesterday. She's not stupid. This horse is pretty smart.
Yeah.
There, she's like, fine if I have to. Like she's got a little bit of an opinion about it, right? She kind of wants to swish her tail, like I'll go, but I have an opinion about it. You know what I mean?
And I had done this like when I was first starting her, and then I think I quit like too soon and just let her get away with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because after she got it, I called it good and really didn't go back
Well,
to it.
I mean, ground work's not super exciting. I get it. I mean, the way I was taught when I was younger was just to, you know, make them run circles around the round pen and then just get on them, basically. And good. So I let her stop a little bit on her own there because she was being soft. She's looking and chewing, so I like that. It means that this is making sense to her. She was checking in, like, do you want me to stop now? And I liked that. So I went ahead and let her because I'm rewarding her for checking in with me. So now pause for a minute and then send her the other way. Okay. There we go. She's still looking at that gate. You see that? She's like, I'm moving, but I'm looking for an escape still. She's still gonna have some spankings coming up. I mean, this is gonna take some time to get her to where her attitude is a little more cooperative. So so I didn't finish what I was saying earlier. So we did groundwork quite a bit yesterday. It was pretty dramatic. I was having to scold her pretty hard. She was running through the rope and trying to run off and buck and all that kind of stuff. Well, because of the fact that she was pretty tired by the time we got done with that, I went ahead and had Emerson get on, but I just had Emerson do forward flexion at a walk both ways and end on a really good note there. So that was yesterday. Good. See, so I went a little more aggressively towards her hip to kind of test her and see if her flight instincts would take a hold, and they didn't. She kind of thought about it, but then she stopped herself and thought, no, that's not what she wants me to do. So that's good. She's picking up on this pretty quick. If you liked this video and want to see more content just like this, in that little description box below, go to our Patreon page. You can subscribe for as little as $5 a month, and there's 3 different levels to choose from. Besides that, the interns kind of need a little bit of extra money. They're just a bunch of poor college kids. Right, Emerson?
I haven't eaten today.
So if you would, check out our Patreon page. We hope to see you there.
We're about to get a bronc, maybe.
I know, in the middle of all this.
Fucking around. I haven't eaten.
To the right, okay. So she's guarding herself on her left side with me on the ground. Like, she doesn't want to send off this way as easy as she does going to the right. There's a botfly chasing her. Okay, I'm gonna ask her to lope and see if she has an opinion. Better. She still wants to be spicy. She's still pulling on this rope a lot, but we're still making progress. Okay, move towards that hip. There we go. So hip first, then send the shoulders away from you. Good. So I'm not going to immediately have her lope off because I'm trying to teach her to be light at the end of this rope. And she trotted off herself. It's not a big deal. But whenever I want them to be light on the end of the rope, when I stop and turn them, I don't just immediately spank them and smooch and send them off really fast. I let them enjoy that and relax so that they want to check in with me constantly, like, do you want me to stop and turn yet? Do you want me to stop and turn? And that gets them looking at you and gets them light at the end of this rope. Does that make sense? A little bit of yesterday right here. Good. So I had a snatcher right there because she was wanting to pull on this rope pretty heavy. She kind of wants to be a turd. Gonna work her feet here a little bit. Yeah, she's spicy. I definitely see where you're coming from, Emerson. You're not wrong. If that makes you feel any better. Now, she's not loping off like a lady, is she? She's wanting to buck. Boy, she's heavy on this rope. We have another horse here that she's kind of similar to. I'm not going to name names, but he also has to be spanked before he'll pay attention. So I didn't ask her to go that time. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to creep up this rope a little bit. And then I'm going to disengage those hindquarters a little more aggressively. So I'm creeping up here. Good. Now send her off softly. Because I'm saying, hey, don't try pulling away because I'm going to stop and turn you before you know it. My gosh, this dust is crazy. Now sometimes when you have an incident like you had 2 days ago where they fall, that can really crush their confidence. And the next time you ride them, they may do something like buck. Because they thought they had things kind of figured out, and then they had an accident, and it kind of can shake their confidence. Although she's not really all that fragile, that still could be the case with her. She may have, I'm sure she lost some level of confidence with that, but that's, I mean, we're gonna get through it. I just want her to be a lady. What are you saying?
When I got back on that day though, like as soon as I got on, she just tried to take off again in the small circle.
Yeah.
So
she's just trying to get out of
too bad.
work by, and sometimes running off. I know that doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense, but she's looking for an exit, and she thinks, well, maybe if I just run really fast, I can get out of, you know, the work will end sooner. You know what I mean? All right, so my objective here is not to get her tired. I'm just trying to have a conversation of, you can work. Life is easier when you want to listen and hook on, be soft. Let me get control of your feet. You don't have to just blow and go. And I didn't ask you to do that. Being a little reactive, so I shut her down there. Still being reactive. Yeah, she's like, well, I just can throw my head up in the air and throw a fit. That works pretty good for me most of the time. Good. There we go. Really got to get control of those hips, because that's your one rein stop too. So if you want to disengage those hindquarters, like if she goes to bucking or having a fit of some kind, you want to shut her down and get you guys out of trouble, you've got to be able to get this hip. That's their motor. You got to be able to shut that motor off. There we go. She's figuring it out. Is this making sense though?
Yeah.
Do you got any questions?
Not right now. You're
Why don't you
explaining
come
it
over
really
and try
good.
this? Trade me.
Okay.
I can pick on you now. Ooh. Good. Want to keep her quiet. Good. It's like we're telling her you can work smarter, not harder. Good, Emerson. Now, take your time switching sides, okay?
Okay.
And then also, when you disengage your hindquarters, I want you to disengage them a little further. I want them to really turn away from you, almost like you're going to make a full circle.
Okay.
Go ahead and do it again. Yeah, exactly. Now, that's good, that's good. Good. Now, take your time, switch hands. There you go. You got to train the mind first before you can train the body. And mentally, she just wasn't with you.
Right.
I can definitely see why you were frustrated. Are you wearing your special jeans?
They were the only dry ones. My dryer didn't dry my clothes last night. But my nice ones are hanging up in the in the apartment.
I saw them. I saw those pants in there.
Yeah. I might have put.
Good. Okay, and ask her to send off. You're just asking her to be professional here. There you go. Give her a chance. Okay, get those hindquarters. Turn, turn, turn. Yeah, nice. She's doing better and better. Okay, now gently send her off. Good. Quiet. That's what you, when you take your time switching sides and then sending, it helps them send off more quietly. You don't want to startle the horse. What we're trying to do is to get her to be less reactive.
Right.
Now, it would be different if you're out here doing this with like 𝘬𝗫, who's super, I mean, he's kind of on the dull side. He's real lazy. So we might be a little quicker about things with a lazier horse, but one that's more reactive like her, we're gonna slow it down to decrease her energy level.
Right.
And one of the reasons I love these hybrid halters is because when you got a horse like this and you're doing work on the ground on the end of a rope, they have those knots on the noseband that really help with those pressure points to, like, if you really got to snatch one, like I'm not trying to pick on you, but you know your halter, that's just that braided real soft rope. This horse would have drugged me all over the arena with that thing on. And then that ring right there at the bottom slides, allows that rope to slide from one side to the other. So I'm a big fan of these. I'm trying to think where I got it. If you just like Google hybrid halter, that should pull up. And they've got a leather one too. I just do the nylon. And they've got several different color options. They don't sponsor me. I'm just a huge fan of this product. Been using it for years.
But maybe they should.
I know, they should. They really should. Hint, hint.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink, wink. And those are the same ropes I use to teach the tricks. I think she's about ready to get on. You're doing great with this. Does it feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels. Should I stay over here and do it?
Yeah, that way Cassie doesn't have to chase you everywhere. But
Okay,